Hey guys, Garlic here with another 2004scape video for you. In this video, I want to go over the updates that came out in July 2004. Obviously, if you've seen the previous video, the June updates video, that went over all of the updates that we were expected to see in June of 2004. Now, obviously, the update has just recently come out with up to revision 244, and I'm not sure if the next update will just be July updates. It seems that they're probably going to sort of group some of the revisions together and have like a bigger update in the future. So this is just sort of going to be all the updates in July, but just bear in mind that basically when the next update comes out, it could be July and August, it could be July, August and September, we just don't know, but just sort of for the sake of sort of breaking this down month by month, so you can sort of refer back historically what happened to the game, I'm going to just sort of put these videos into the different months. So we started off with the June video, this is going to be the July video, with one tiny exception, which I'll get onto in just a moment, and then we'll do another August video in the future showing the updates that came out in August, but obviously when we get another update in 2004scape, it could be that some of these are merged together. So don't expect this to, if you're coming and clicking on this video and you're watching it and you're thinking, oh, these are updates that are coming out in July, we're in July now at the time of recording, so these are coming out soon, that's not the case. And also, if you're looking at this and thinking, oh, like when the next update comes into 04, then these are the only updates that will be part of that update, that might also not be the case. It could be merged into future ones as well. But just as a sort of a frame of reference, we're going to go through and talk about the updates that came out in July of 2004, so you can get an insight into what might be coming out in the next update. So, I did mention there that this is all going to be July updates apart from one thing, and that is basically because the update that we've just had has taken us up to revision 244, and there is one update in June still. On the 29th of June, there was an update that was part of the revision 245, and so it sort of wasn't added into the previous update we've just had. It's going to be in the next update. So it did technically come out in June, but we won't see it yet until the next update. And that is the Priest and Peril quest and the easier to rearrange bank updates. So the easier to rearrange bank updates, we'll just go through this briefly. They've added a couple of new options to make it easier to keep the contents of your bank arranged. This is when they add in the insert and swap buttons into the bank interface. So obviously swap mode, where you're able to drag items to swap them, and then insert mode is a new option where if you drag an item into a space on your bank, it will put that item there and it will just move all the other items along one. So obviously we didn't get that in the most recent update we've had, but that will be added. That came out on the 29th of June. And they did also, in the 29th of June, add the ability to move items around your bank by dragging an item to scroll the bank interface. They did actually add this in the most recent update, even though it's part of revision 245. The Lost City team did decide to put that in, which I was very happy to see because it was a pain in the ass to rearrange your bank without that. So we already have that section of this update, but we will be getting the swap and the insert options after that in the next update. The Priest and Peril quest, though, obviously, this is quite a big one because it does unlock the access to Mauritania. And so if we just have a quick look at the Priest and Peril quest, essentially, you can speak with King Rold in Varrock Palace to start this, and it doesn't have too many requirements, really. There's no like hard skill requirements here. There is a little bit of combat you'll need to do because you need to kill the Temple Guardian and a Monk of Zamorak. So they do recommend being about level 15 combat, but I think most people are going to have that anyway by the time this quest comes out. And as a reward for this, you get a single quest point, you get 1.4k prayer XP, you get a Wolfbane dagger, and obviously you get access to Mauritania. Now, Mauritania was a little bit different in 2004 when it first came out. You basically only had access to Canifis, the swamp, and like the area just outside of the temple. Obviously there's no Slayer Tower, there is no Port Phasmatis, there's no Barrows, there's none of that. So it's quite a limited area, and I think in fact actually we don't get access to the swamp until the Nature Spirit quest, which I'll talk about very shortly. So it's going to be interesting. I know also the ghouls that are in this area of Mauritania used to be quite a popular training method back in the day. They actually weren't added to a future update in 2004. I believe it was September or October or something like that. So it's going to be a limited space, but I think it's going to be kind of fun having like a new section of the map unlocked for us. And you know, you might be able to go and get some of those clothes from the clothes shop in Canifis and come up with some good fashionscape outfits. But that is the Priest in Peril and the bank update. They basically came out on the 29th of June, so they will be, I'm including them in this video because they're not out yet, but they will be coming out before or at the same time, but chronologically they are before the July update. So we'll just cover those. There we go. Next, on the 13th of July 2004, we did get the Nature Spirit quest added, and this is basically after you've done Priest in Peril, you also need to have done the Restless Ghost, obviously, and this one doesn't really have any hard requirements either. Again, there is some combat. The wiki does suggest level 20 combat for this, but basically you get a reward of 2 quest points, 3k crafting XP, 2k hit points XP, and 2k defense XP, and you get access to Mortmire's Swamp and the Nature Spirit Altar. Now, the Nature Spirit Altar is very nice because it does give you a boost to your prayer. If you restore your prayer there, it will boost your prayer points by 2 over your actual level, which is kind of nice. Also gives you the ability to do things like fight ghasts, and I think the snails are actually not added until a little bit later as well, similar to the ghouls. But it's kind of a bit of a weird one because we do get access to getting fungus because you can cast the bloom spell with the silver sickle, but super energy potions are not actually added until September 2004. So I think before these potions were added, it wasn't Mortmire fungus. I think it was just called fungus. So there's not actually a use for it as far as I'm aware until September 2004, and that's when we get access to super energies. So even though we get Nature Spirit, access to the swamp, and we get the silver sickle and the druid pouch and all that, we don't actually get the ability to make super energy potions until September. So there you go. Nature Spirit, the quest though, another quest, bit of XP rewards, and obviously opens up the swamp for you. After that, though, on the 20th of July 2004, we get the quest journals and chompy hats update, which is pretty cool. So obviously, those of us that have been doing quests in 2004scape, you'll know that you currently cannot click on any of the quests in your quest log to open up like the pop-up and see where you are in the quest and see your progress, which has been very tedious if you sort of start a quest and then log out and have a break and then come back the next day, and then you got to kind of remember like where you were in the quest to keep going. This will basically mean that that's not a thing anymore. You'll be able to click open each quest. You'll be able to see like how far you've progressed it and what the next step is and what who the next NPC you need to talk to is or whatever, which will be very, very nice. Now, obviously, I've already done all the quests now, so this is a little bit late for me to utilize and make use of, but obviously when quests come out in the future, it may be something that is useful for people. And if you've not done all the quests so far, then this will be a nice addition for those people that want to keep track of where they are. And also the chompy bird hats. They do say, as some of you will know, once you have finished the big chompy bird hunting quest, you can start to get ranks as a chompy bird hunter, and this rank is based on the number of birds you have killed. Now there is a hat for each rank of ogre bowman and upwards. Each hat looks different, so other players can see roughly how many chompy birds you have killed, and you can get your hat by showing the notches on your ogre bow to rants. Now, for those that don't know, the actual sort of keeping track of how many chompy birds you've killed is already in the game. So if you want to, you can literally go and kill chompy birds right now, and it is getting logged how many kills you have, so that when this update comes out, if you've killed enough already, you could, in theory, log in on day one of this update and just go and get like the max kill chompy hat. I don't know if anyone's actually spending their time doing that, but maybe I probably would just wait until the update comes out to do this, to be honest. And I'm not sure if I even will, but the chompy hats are cool, but it's quite a long grind to do all of them. So just to go through them, basically, there are different tiers of the chompy hats, starting at 30 kills all the way up to 4,000 kills, I believe. And they start off with like a single feather on them, and then they go to 3 feathers, and then eventually I think there's 5 feathers on the final hats. And they go in color order, so they start off with white, into green, into red, into black, into blue, into yellow, and then back to white, but with more feathers. So I know a lot of people used to really like these. I know a lot of One Defense Pures used to wear them quite a lot PKing, so it'd be interesting to see if anyone's walking around flexing the expert dragon archer yellow chompy hat with all the feathers on. That would be kind of cool to see. But yeah, not sure if it's going to be the most interesting update or the most, the thing. I don't know if many people are going to be doing this, but it's cool to see that added into the game. And then on the 27th of July, this is kind of the final update of July. There wasn't that many updates in July, to be honest. I think only 4 or 5, really. So the Brimhaven Agility Arena was added. So we can see from the news post here, it says, the enterprising Captain Izzy Nobeard invites you to the Brimhaven Agility Arena. Entry is only 200 GP, and the entrance is the bamboo hut in the northeast part of Brimhaven. The Agility Arena is a huge cavern of platforms connected by traps and obstacles. There are many different routes to go around the Agility Arena, and you are much more likely to fail the obstacles on some routes than on others. Some ways cannot even be taken until you reach a certain agility level. And obviously you have the flashing arrow telling you where to go and tag the pillars. You won't get a ticket at the first pillar, but you will for every pillar you tag after that. If you miss a pillar, you will miss out on the next ticket, so try and get as many as you can. This is different to how it is in old school. I know in old school they changed this, so you don't have to get back-to-back pillar tags to get tickets. Obviously, when it first came out, you did have to do that, so it's going to be a little more tedious than it is in old school, but it's going to be good fun, I think, seeing people training at the Brimhaven Agility Arena. And there isn't actually... there is no agility requirement to get into the arena. It's just going to be very difficult for you to get tickets with a low agility level. But this is going to be nice because I think it's going to provide, an alternative to people using the monkey bars, which I think people are pretty sick of doing monkey bars right now. If we have a quick look at the Agility Arena ticket exchange as well, we can basically see that it was added on the 27th of July 2004, and basically all that I can see that you were able to buy from the shop back then was the Pirate's Hook, which is, a massive Fashionscape flex item, Snapdragons and Toad Flaxes, and then XP lamps as well, I believe, for, Agility XP you can turn in. So that's kind of interesting for a couple of reasons there, basically because the Pirate Hook's really cool, and then also because of Snapdragons and Toad Flax being added. So obviously on the news post, we can also see here that 2 new potions are being added. The Agility Potion and the Super Restore Potion using Toad Flax and Snapdragon Herbs. So these will be added into the game, which will be very interesting. And for the Agility Potion, you will need level 34 Herb Lore, and you'll need a Toad Flax and Toad's Legs, and this will raise your agility level by 3. And then for the Super Restore Potion, you do need 63 Herb Lore, which requires a Snapdragon and Red Spider's Eggs. And obviously this restores your stats and your prayer. So they're going to be quite nice to see coming into the game. Maybe some people using those to train their Herb Lore a bit as well. And then obviously I'm very interested to see who the first person ever to be walking around with a Pirate Hook is going to be. But other than that, the only update left that I haven't mentioned here is there are some changes to the party room where Party Pete will now periodically clear worthless junk from the drop chest. He will leave anything which he thinks has some value. If there are lots of items in the chest, you now get a greater chance of getting something in a balloon. It is also now cheaper to pull the lever or get the knights to dance. And that's basically it for the July updates, to be honest, guys. So we had the 29th of June update, which I've included here, the Nature Spirit quest, the quest journals and chompy hats, and then the agility potions and parties. And then after that, it's going into the August updates. So obviously I will make a new video for the August updates when we get closer to that time. And just like I said, just bear in mind that this isn't updates that are coming out this month. It might not just be these updates when they get added. It might be all rolled into a multifaceted update. But I just wanted to go through and cover these. Just a quick short video for you guys to sort of see what's coming up in the future. So I hope you enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, leave a comment, hit subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.